Silence is not always peaceful. In fact, for most, it begins with discomfort. The first thing you hear in silence is not wisdom, it's noise. The residue of every voice you absorbed, every belief you never questioned, every wound you never tended to. And then comes the mirror. Silence holds it up without mercy. Not the mirror of appearance, but of essence. Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you without your title, your following, your image? Who are you without noise? Most people run from this. Because when the noise fades, the self emerges. And it's not always flattering. You begin to see the cracks, the compromises, the unfinished business. You meet the child still seeking approval, the adult still ruled by fear. The voice that whispers, "You are not enough." But here lies the paradox. Only in silence can you face it. And only by facing it can you transcend it. This is why silence is not weakness. It is the beginning of true strength, because it demands you stop blaming, stop performing, stop distracting. It requires you to sit in the raw presence of your own life and choose to rebuild, not from validation, not from noise, but from truth. Every warrior must face the mirror before he can face the battle, and the greatest battle is always within. So sit. Let the discomfort rise. Let the regrets surface. Let the inner critic speak. And then, breathe. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are the one who sees it and chooses what comes next. That is the power of silence. Not to numb, but to reveal. Not to suppress, but to transform. You don't find yourself in noise. You remember yourself in stillness. And when you do, when you face the mirror and do not flinch, you become unshakable. Not perfect, but rooted. And from that root, you rise. Silence is not just the absence of sound. It is the presence of mastery. In a world obsessed with declaring, posting, reacting, and proving, the man who holds his tongue, who speaks last, or not at all, is not behind. He is ahead, watching, listening, measuring, not swayed by urgency, not baited by provocation, not enslaved by the need to be seen. The loudest man in the room is often the weakest, but the quiet one, the one who commands attention without asking for it, that is the man who has harnessed his power. Because power is not in how much you say, it's in how much you can withhold. It's not how you respond, but what you choose to ignore. It's the strength to observe without being consumed, to witness chaos without becoming it, to walk through noise untouched. This is why silence threatens people, because it cannot be interpreted easily. It creates mystery, and mystery, in a world of overexposure, is power. Consider the masters of strategy: Sun Tzu, Miyamoto Musashi, even Marcus Aurelius. They understood that restraint is not weakness, but control. Silence gives you space to think, and thinking gives you precision, and precision wins battles. In silence, you sharpen your edge. You notice what others miss. You anticipate instead of react. You build responses instead of blurting reactions. You preserve energy that others waste trying to prove they matter. Powerful men speak when it's time to shift the room, not fill it. And when they do speak, people listen, not because the volume is high, but because the source is rare. In a time when everyone is talking, broadcasting, and chasing validation, your silence becomes rebellion. Not the passive kind, but the kind that radiates command. So cultivate this. Practice it. When you want to interrupt, breathe. When you feel triggered, wait. When you have an urge to prove, observe. Let others spend their power recklessly. You save yours. Because silence, when used with intention, is not an absence of presence. It is the amplification of it. And when you rise from silence, not out of weakness, but from a deep well of knowing, you carry a weight the world can feel. That is real power.